I have to frankly say that I'm very worried about the situation because the crisis is there. It's a sort of blind crisis. There's no idea of the solution. All the solutions are open, and the pandemic situation is very tough in this period. So I think all the worries are absolutely justified in this very moment. It is a very bad news also for Europe. Europe was on the right track. And now I think the big risk is that the Italian crisis can bring many problems at the all European level.
I wonder whether this is a walk down memory lane for you. Right back in 2014, we saw Matteo Renzi argue that it was time for a change in government to end the uncertainty when you were Prime Minister. Does this feel like history repeating itself?
I think the situation is very different. Today, a pandemic is conditioning very much what is happening, but it is clear that everything is related to personal ambitions of Matteo Renzi and of his party. It's very small part, because I have to say that Matteo Renzi's party today is around 2-3% in the polls. So Italian politics is conditioned by a party of 2-3%. And he tried exactly 1 year ago to do the same before the pandemic, to try to come back to the center, to the heart of the political system. Then the pandemic stopped everything. Now he's trying again. But frankly speaking, I don't see any political reason but the political personal ambition of Matteo Renzi to come back.
You've worked in these halls of power. We've been discussing with guests this morning about various scenarios, and one of them is if Conte goes to the president and requests to form a new government, he turns to some of the smaller parties potentially for support, but it means for a much weakened leader, very difficult power play for him. Do you agree with that? How hard is it for Conte at this point to form a new government and maintain the same level of control?
Well, I think all the scenarios are open. I think the plan A clearly is a new Conte government without Renzi and with other members of parliament supporting Conte and the same Conte government. But there's also other scenarios like a national unity government or even elections. That is, I think, in my view, the worst scenario, because elections in Italy is not a process that you can have in 2 weeks. Democracy has liturgies, period, procedures. So that means a long period of instability. Frankly speaking, the country doesn't need such an instability in the very moment in which we need to start the relaunch, thanks to the Next Generation EU plan that the European Union approved. But we have to be quick in not only in the approval, but also in the implementation of this plan, and also in trying to stop the pandemic, in trying to be effective in the vaccine campaign. There are many, many important issues. So this is why I say this crisis is really irresponsible.
Is there any chance that we might see President Mattarella try to bring some technocrats into the government? I know Mario Draghi's name is floating around among others. You said all options are on the table. Would that be something that would appeal to the Italian public?
I don't know. It depends on the evolution of the crisis. For the moment, I think the next days will be around the attempt to have a new Conte government, but I think all the options are open, even a national unity government or new elections. But I think the very first moment will be on a new Conte government, because in Italy, Parliament is the center of everything. So it's not enough to have the announcement of a resignation of 2 ministers. I'm sure that the President of the Republic, Sergio Mattarella, that is today the big, we are very lucky because we have a president like him. I'm sure that he will oblige to have a clarification into the Parliament numbers, because today we lack this clarification. And so I think the first step would be a step in Parliament with numbers, clarification, and then eventually new other options.